Number 6 from worksheet 3. The communications tower is located at the top of a steep hill as shown. A guy wire is to be attached to the top of the tower and to the ground, 165 meters from the base of the tower. The height of the tower is 80. How long is the guy wire in feet? In feet? Wait a minute. I don't think I want to do in feet. I'm going to guess that's supposed to say in meters. I don't imagine this is actually a conversion problem, but I guess we'll find out when we get our answer. Okay. 80, 165. Do we have enough information? Is that your concern? Did you try this one?
Yeah, but I don't know. Let's see.
Because it's not law of sines yet. Because, oh wait. Well, 16 and 80. And then I can do 165 and whatever this is. And then I can get there eventually. Yeah, I've got 2, so I know I can do law of sines. Sine of 16 over 80 equals, we'll have to do the one that pairs with 165. Sine of, let's call it A, over 165. So that'll get me angle A, and then I can find this angle, and then I can find X. And I don't know if there's a quicker, easier, better way to do that. Let's see, 165 sine of 16 divided by 80. Now be careful, that's what the sine of the angle equals. So I need to undo the sine, inverse sine, second answer. Angle A is 34.646, which means angle, I'll just call it angle B, is 180 minus the other 2. So 180 minus answer, minus 16, 129.35. I'm not too worried about decimals because all my answer choices are pretty spread out, so 2 decimals should be plenty. Again, if you take a look at these ahead of time, and if they're all really close, then you better be careful about decimals. When they're 50 apart, then I'm not really worried about decimals too much. Okay, so now I can do law of sines with that pair. Sine 16 over 80 equals sine of what we just found, 129.35 over x. My brain isn't warmed up enough to skip all the steps yet. So I'll write out one more step, and then now I'm good to go to the calculator. I feel like by the end of yesterday, I was not showing this step because I'd done it so many times. But this morning, first one, my brain needs to get warmed up. So I'm going to show the cross multiplication, then I'll go to the calculator. $224.423, and that is one of my answers. So that was kind of a tricky one because there wasn't a direct way to get the answer. But they did give us an angle side pair across from each other, so that meant we could start off with law of sines and kind of go from there. I don't think there's another way to do that problem. A more direct way. I don't think there is. Other questions from worksheet 3? So that was a good one. We hadn't worked one quite like that. pilot is flying over a straight highway. He determines the angles of depression to 2 mileposts to be 32 and 56, as shown in the picture. The pilot is flying at an altitude of 25,000 feet, so that gives us a distance to make a triangle. Find the distance from point A to point B to the nearest foot. Okay, let's see here. So this angle would be 56 minus 32, 24, but that doesn't help yet because I don't have a distance in that triangle. So maybe I should. The side I'm looking for is in this triangle. But the trouble with that triangle is I don't have any distances on that triangle. So I can't do much yet. I did one of these kind of like this yesterday where we used one triangle to find a length and then use that in the next triangle over. That's, I think, what's going on here. Let's see, if that's 56, then this is 56. That's the 2 parallel lines with the transversal thing.
Can you know that that's a right triangle?
Well, when it says altitude, that means directly above the ground. So that's a good question, but he's 25,000 feet above the ground, and we wouldn't measure like at an angle. We would measure straight up. So I think we're ready for law of sines. Sine 56 over 25,000 equals sine of 90 over whatever we're going to call that. I'm just going to call it L. It's not my final answer, but that's the piece of the puzzle I need. Over L. So L sine 56 equals 25,000 sine of 90. By the way, SOHCAHTOA still works on this because it's a right triangle, but if your brain is used to using law of sines, just keep using law of sines. So L, 30,155. And again, with the decimals, all my answers are like 1,000 apart, so it's probably not too important how many decimals I carry. Okay, so now I know L. What else do I know in this triangle? I'd like to know the angle across from L because then I could use law of sines. So do you see what the angle across from L is? Lay out our parallel lines with the transversal. So that small angle down there is going to be 32. Mm-hmm. By the way, there's another way to get to that 32. 180 minus 56. 180 minus 56 is 124. And then you could add all those up and it should be 180. But what I really need is the 32. Because the 32 is across from the L. So sine 32 over the 30,000 equals sine 24 over x. And now I'm warmed up, so I'm not going to write the next step. I'm going to do 30,155.4 times sine of 24 divided by sine of 32. 23,145. Or 146, I guess, if we round correctly. So yeah, we've seen a couple of the problems where you've got to solve two triangles. Like You got to solve one triangle that you don't really need, or you don't really care about, to get information about the triangle you do care about. There's another one like that. 13 was pretty similar. I mean, it was a different setup, and we did 13 yesterday, but it also had that two triangle situation. Other questions from worksheet 3?